Hey, what's up guys? JC here with the Salty Cherry Reefing channel. I'm excited to be back with you guys here for kind of a part 3 here with this Red Sea Reefer 525 XL build that I'll be building out here over these next few months and getting it set up. We're probably only a couple months away from getting water in the rock in this tank. If you checked out my previous video, we got basically all the rock washed, cleaned up, got rid of all the algae that was on there. Today I'm going to be kind of going through and cleaning out all the equipment from the tank that I purchased. So I got pretty much everything in a bundled deal when I purchased this from the local reefer. And today, or this video, is going to be specifically talking about how I went about cleaning all that equipment. It had a lot of buildup of calcium on there, as well as algae that was on there from previously, and so I spent a ton of time kind of prepping and making sure I was prepared to go about that. I ended up using the bathtub just as a resource, as far as a tub that was big enough to kind of put all that equipment that was in there. And I ended up doing a 24-hour soak. So filled it up with water, put the equipment in there, and then filled it up with citric acid. I would say the only other thing that I think would be beneficial with doing a citric acid bath would be having some kind of flow in there. I did not have any wave makers or pumps in there moving the water around. I think that's something that would have maybe sped up the process or helped a little bit. But honestly, when I got in there, I used a bottle brush, toothbrush, and a fresh sponge, and I was pretty much able to clean all that gunk off of that equipment very, very easily. It didn't take much scrubbing really at all, and so it was something that made cleaning all the equipment really easy through this process, because I know even if you have a tank that's running and working for you well already, eventually you do have to clean equipment. Something that I'm probably gonna do in the future is use citric acid for some of that harder stuff that is built up on there. You just want to make sure that you rinse and wash off that stuff after the fact, and really let it dry out and whatnot. I found the stuff that I didn't rinse off really well had like a little bit of a sticky residue to it, and so I've gone back and re-washed and rinsed some of those pieces off and whatnot. But that's what I did. I would definitely recommend it to anyone else that's looking to really get hard calcified material off of equipment, especially plastic pieces. I find those are usually the hardest pieces to get stuff off of, even with some elbow grease and scrubbing away. And so that made that super easy. Got everything kind of wiped down, cleaned off. Kind of got equipment now so far staged under the tank. So I'm going to be using a Red Sea Reefer roller mat. I believe this is the smaller model from what I can gather. I'm in between using the Red Sea Reefer 300 skimmer or this Simplicity 120 skimmer that I had. I ended up he had 3 skimmers when I purchased everything from him, and so there was another eShops one as well that I was kind of in between on. But I'm more in between the Simplicity 120 and the Red Sea Reefer 300, and so I'm leaning towards the Red Sea Reefer, but I'm still doing a little bit more research on what I would like to use on the build. He had the Simplicity running on the tank prior to it coming down, so that's something to consider, but be doing that. Another thing I'm trying to decide on too is either using this max spec DC pump, return pump for the tank that's brand new, never been used, or this E-Flux that was running the tank prior. I'm still trying to figure out and decide which of the 2 pumps I'm going to be using right now. I just have the E-Flux down there because that's what was running on it before and whatnot, and so that's what I was looking at. Return pump. I got a 400 watt heater down there, as well as a UV light that I plan on either replacing or I'm going to get new filters, new light for it. I'm still looking into the specific brand that it is. And then as far as the lighting goes, I got 2 Gen 5 Ecotech XR30s, and then Radion XR30s, and then I got 2 Hydra 32 HDs on there as well. So I'll be using that to light the tank. I was considering selling the 2 32 HDs to get a third XR30, and that might be something I might do down the road, but at the moment I think I'm going to stick with this setup and whatnot. I just still haven't fully decided on what I want to do there. I do kind of like the idea of having more space in the middle to be able to reach in there with my arm, but who knows, down the road maybe I might like the symmetrical look with having all three the same. Plus, if I mounted that third one, it would have to go in the middle, and I believe the holder, the arm for the Radion is going to be too big for the cover for the overflow, and so I'm not sure if I want to do that yet. But that is most of the equipment. I have a 5-gallon auto top off here off to the side. I'm still working on kind of how I'm going to organize all the cords and everything underneath. That's another video that's going to come down the road here, is making sure that's really organized. For me, I'm pretty particular with how I have cords here at my desk. I don't like any cords visible and stuff. So definitely going to be spending some time to make sure that is looking nice and easy to access and user friendly, and I'll be able to hopefully take off equipment relatively easy as well, and not have to unravel a bunch of cords and different things. It was a little bit of a mess when I was taking it down from the previous owner. So but those are most of the hardware I got. For flow, I have this gyro pump here on the side. I don't know exactly the brand. It might be a max spec. And then I have 3 Nero 5s that I plan on running, and then I have a handful of Nero 3s as well. My plan and hope is to be able to keep this glass panel and the one towards the living room completely free of them, and mainly just scatter them along the back side so they can blend in and I can hide the cords a little bit better. That's my hope and my goal. Ultimately, it's going to depend on how I can deliver the flow once I get rock scaped in there and everything in there with the sand. So we'll kind of see how that goes as we go, but that's my plan as of right now, and whatnot with this build. Hopefully you're following along, and if you're building up your own tank and doing something similar for yourself, it's fun and exciting, being able to kind of pick and choose the different things you're going to use. This is, like I said before, this is like probably the biggest tank I've set up, and probably the nicest equipment I've been able to use through this whole process. I mean, I've used the Radions in the past. I've used the Gen 4s and Gen 5s on previous tanks. My previous tank was I believe it was a XR15 or XR30 Gen 4, and then I had two XR15 Gen 5s in the past on another previous tank. So, yeah, I'm excited to get this thing going, get this thing wet, and really be able to transfer over the clownfish over there. The rock it's been wet for the last 3 years, so I'm not really anticipating too big of a cycle, if any. So as far as getting fish transferred over there, the 2 clowns, and eventually getting a cleanup crew and some of those other things going, I'm hoping it's going to be a relatively quick process as we get the tank up and running. But if you stuck with me this long, appreciate you coming in and watching my videos. I'm excited to share more with you guys as this unfolds. And if you have any comments, perspective, more than happy to hear you out and listen to you and get back to you in the comments and whatnot. But appreciate your guys' time, and I'll talk to you later.